Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah and this is Low-Sal-Life, where we talk about salicylate sensitivity, which is a chemical that is natural in plants, in most plants, and some of us can't eat them or use them or inhale them. So it makes life a little bit challenging, and this is, I think, the last of 4 videos related to hair care, and because hair is intense. So there's lots of different options, although when you're starting out, it might not seem like there's any options. After I started a low salicylate diet and removed salicylates from my hair routine, I still had issues. I was using low allergy or low salicylate approved shampoos and conditioners, and I was still having a little bit of hair loss still, which I think was just a response of having too many salicylates or maybe another chemical I'm not aware of that I might be sensitive to that were in those products, and I was kind of at wit's end. So last October I switched to, I decided that I was going to switch to all animal products or do a no poo routine, which I'd kind of worked on and off over the last year and a half before that. So I ended up switching to water only, but I was swimming during the time and I couldn't get the chlorine smell out, so I switched to a mild soap to use instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Today we're talking about 6 products that you can use in your hair that are animal-based products. And I want this, just to let you know, set a precedent. This is we're here to talk about this because we can't use most of the plant products in our hair safely. So I don't want any comments related to why using animals is not ethical. Those comments will be deleted. I have zero tolerance for this. This is a safe place for people that are salicylate intolerant, where plants basically hate us. So this is a space for us to learn and to share ideas with about how we can cope. If you're a carnivore diet, you might be interested in this video. And also, if you're a carnivore diet but you might not like eating all carnivore animal products, you might be interested in trying a low salicylate diet, because there are still some plants that we can eat. Like, we can eat a lot of grains, and a lot of people think those are evil, but they're low in salicylates and we can eat those. There's also specific fruits and veggies that we can eat. So do consider that if you've been carnivore and you're looking to add more foods to your diet, you might want to try low chemical fruits and vegetables, which you might be able to consume. So we'll get started. So first of all, I don't have any product in my hair. This hair was washed with large soap, and it's clean, it's healthy, and I did put a little tiny bit of a curl at the bottom, so it's already fallen out. It's quite warm these days, but I just wanted to show you what my hair looks like. It's in pretty good shape. It's also straight. I am half Latin, there's a lot of it, and it doesn't tangle very easily, so you might not be as lucky as I am. So just some things to consider. The first thing, and I mentioned this in former videos, but the first products that I use are either a lard or a tallow soap. I've been ordering them off of Etsy with good luck. There are other vendors. If you go to low-sal-life.com, I have a products directory list, and I put anything up there that I use safely on there and where you can buy it. If there's a vendor that you like to use that's not on that list, or if you're a vendor yourself, please let me know. I have a contact form on everywhere on my site, so I can add them. So I get 100% tallow. Tallow is beef fat. I really don't care if it's grass-fed or not. I've had grass-fed tallow that smells really like hay or really grassy. I'm allergic to grass, a true allergy to grass. So I really don't care if it's grass-fed or not. This one here is by Grazie Soaps. It's grass-fed tallow. I don't feel like this one has a super grassy smell. Sometimes the tallow or lard soaps can have a slight odor to them, but don't usually notice it in my hair after it's all dried. So this is what I use. I just run it through my hair, or get it in my hands, and get especially the spots that are the worst. So the very back of my hair here is usually where I get the oiliest. So that's where I try and lift up all of my hair and get back inside there. I do not wash the ends, and I try not to get soap on the ends. I don't want them to over dry. They're not dirty unless I actually get oil on them or gunk on them. But for the most part, just use this, and it's a mild soap. It does not over dry my scalp or my hair. And when I use just soap, I don't need to use a conditioner usually. This here is a liquid soap. It is also either out of tallow or lard. I got this off of Etsy. I asked the vendor if she could make me a lard or tallow only soap, and so she was able to make that for me custom, and they're happy to do that. They want to sell soap and they know how to make it. I don't. So you know, definitely go find a soap maker. Again, I have this vendor. There's a second vendor that I also used. They have a version that's not as liquidy. I don't care. They're both great. So this here I just put in like a little squeeze bottle. This is how the bottle came, and I just put it in a little squeeze bottle and leave it in my shower, and then I'll drop the soap in at my scalp and wash the top like 2 or 3 inches of my hair, and then I'll just rinse it out and it's good to go. So that's the first one. The second thing that I use occasionally is if I need a conditioner. And as most of you guys know, if you're doing the low or no poo, baking soda and vinegar is one of the most popular options for washing your hair. Vinegars tend to be high. Apple cider vinegar is very high in salicylates. And so I was looking for an alternative for a conditioner or something acidic to rinse my hair with if I ever needed it. And what I found was kefir. You can test it. It's been a long time since I've tested this with a litmus strip, but it is acidic. I've also used buttermilk, and you know, it smells kind of funny. It smells sour when you use it, but it is very moisturizing, and it does condition your hair. So once you rinse it out and it dries, your hair doesn't really smell, and it smells way better than having vinegar in your hair. And I don't care what anybody says, vinegar, you can still smell vinegar. Like, I don't know how people can't smell the vinegar in the hair after they rinse it out and dry it. You can still smell it. I can, at least. I guess I have a sensitive sniffer. Okay, still in the shower. This is one more option to clean your hair with. And normally I have all sorts of eggs. This one's white today. I always have cool eggs because I have an egg guy that brings them to me, but we're on store-bought eggs today. You can use an egg as to actually clean your hair, or you can use it as an egg mask. They are high in protein, which is nice for your hair. Some people don't do well with high protein in their hair care routine, so just keep that in mind. When you do put it in your hair, like what I like to do is beat it up, put it in my hair, let it sit for like 15-20 minutes, and then rinse it out with cool water. Do not use hot water unless you want scrambled eggs in your hair, and especially if you have dark hair. Don't do that. Number 3, eggs. Okay, so now that you're out of the shower, the next thing you might want to consider is adding some oil to your hair. And I don't use this all the time, but I do like it if my ends are feeling a little bit dry. So I've got Emu Oil, and I recommend finding it AEA certified, which this one is. This is made in the USA, and I did do some research on emus. So they have a red meat that you can eat. Generally, for all the products that I consume, I try to consume the entire part of the animal rather than just a selective portion. Like if I eat steak every single day, which is just about true, I also, use beef tallow in my shower, and I use leather in my shoes, and I use the bone meal in my garden. And you want to think about all the ways that we can consume an animal rather than just for select parts. So I did look. Emu are raised in the US for meat. They are very nutritious. I did purchase emu meat. I don't love it. And I think if I was able to spice it or add flavors or spices to my emu meat, I might enjoy it a little bit better, but it wasn't my favorite. They do use them for, I saw for animal feed, but the emu oil is one of the most lucrative trades for emu cultivation. So just something to think about. I do recommend that you consume the meat as well as the oil if you're going to choose to use the oil. So the way that I'll use this is just put a little bit in my palm and then I'll just rub them, you know, on my ends, just to add a little bit of moisture to them. So the next item, number 5, is lanolin. And lanolin is one of the best products ever. I get a pharmaceutical grade lanolin, that way it doesn't smell. I'll put the link in the description, but lanolin is the sebum of sheep. And basically it's a byproduct of the wool process. Wool is another product that I love to use. Lanolin, basically what happens is when they boil or wash the wool, the sebum that is coating each strand of wool is kind of melted off, and then they skim it off the top, and then you have this wonderful product that is very, very similar to our humans' natural sebum, which comes out of the pores of your scalp and your hair, their follicles. So your hair, when your hair gets greasy, you have sebum that's being produced. The cool thing about lanolin is that it's an emollient, which means that it actually prevents moisture loss from the skin. So if you deal with dry skin, and let's say you do really well with Vaseline, but don't want to use Vaseline because it's a petroleum product, lanolin is a great alternative. You can put it on, it stays on your skin. I mean, you can even shower with it as long as you don't soak it up. You know, the lanolin will remain on your skin because it's not water-based. So with enough heat, it'll come off. But I like using it on my feet, put socks on, go to bed, and my feet are really soft the next day. But this is a hair video, so the way that I use lanolin is I'll just, same thing with the oil, I'll just put it on and, you know, kind of get toward the tips and kind of get toward the top, like all those little baby hairs and those really fine hairs. I'll just kind of rub it on in my hands, and then I'll just kind of rub it through my, and it also works pretty well as a pomade. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect pomade, and that's what my last item is talking about. But it works really well for just protecting your hair and giving it a nice smooth weight. My hair always looks better on the second day. Today is day 1 for me. But on day 2, it looks fantastic. And using a little bit of lanolin helps me get to day 2 faster so that my hair looks just sleek and shiny and healthy. It's got a little tiny bit of weight to it, and it just responds really well with the lanolin. So that's how I like to use it. Oh, it also makes a really good lip balm. You can use it on your face for like a nighttime cream or ointment. So that's another option for using lanolin. And my last item is beeswax, and this is, I don't remember where I got this, but you can buy beeswax just about anywhere. Mine is white beeswax. I don't think it matters which one you get. I think I got white because I feel like it has less of an odor. But what I noticed was, and like I mentioned in former videos, that I like to do a lot of pinup fashion and hair. And that includes like victory rolls, suicide rolls, and I've gone to conferences and fun stuff where you learn how to do all these makeup and hair tutorials. But one of the things about pomade is that it has to be both sleek and also like it needs to like provide a little bit of a shine. And the lanolin was not providing me enough hold and shine. It provided enough gunk, like it provided enough stickiness to it. But I found that using beeswax actually adds a really nice shine to my hair. So what I'll do is I will either curl or straighten my hair. Like if I'm using heat, I use that first. I'll straighten it, and then I have like this little mix, and I can't tell you what's in here exactly right now. I'm looking for the recipe, and it's not perfect, so I'm still making a better one. But the reason I don't like this is because it's too hard, but it's still good enough. So basically it's a little bit of the Emu Oil, the Lanolin, and the beeswax all melted down. I think I might try it with adding a little tiny bit of canola oil to it, just to add a little bit more liquid. It's a little too hard right now, but basically I just kind of like rub it on there, and then I'll add it to my hair. And because it's so thick right now, I'll get little white chunks right now, and then I'll have to brush it out. But it actually does a really great job of adding some sleek to it and some shine, and it just works really great. I think there might be a little white spot in there. So I have to perfect it, but beeswax is a great way to add shine. Again, this is also a product that you can use for a lip balm. Between the lanolin, the oil, and the beeswax, you basically have something for your lips too. So just something to think about. There are at least 5 great products that you can use in your hair and for styling. And if any of you guys have a suggestion for hairspray, that's my white whale. If only I could find a hairspray. I've tried salt sprays before. I haven't been super keen on them. I've even tried sugars in sprays, but that is still something that's out there that I am looking for a good alternative. So anyway, I think that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go out and be kind to your hair, and yeah. Find me on low-sal-life at Instagram or on Facebook, and again, check out the food and products directory at low-sal-life. And again, if you're new and coming in with a carnivore diet, check out the low salicylate food lists. Those recommend products that are low in salicylates and that a lot of people have little to no reaction to, that are chemically sensitive to plants. And that's all for now. I'll see you guys later. Bye.